Elle Morgan is absolutely off the mark, and in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what she said, why she's wrong, and what the real truth is regarding her claims. Let's dive into the ongoing feud between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, a rivalry that's been alive and thriving ever since WrestleMania 40. But after the event, plans had to pivot quickly. Initially, WWE seemed to be heading toward a one-off singles match between Liv and Rhea, where Rhea would defend and likely retain her Women's World Championship. But things took a turn, and instead of simply keeping Rhea at the top, WWE managed to create an entirely new star in Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's feud with Becky Lynch last year built her momentum. She had two separate victories over Becky, one to claim the Women's World title and another to retain it just 2 nights later on Monday Night Raw inside a steel cage. These wins cemented her status as a top contender in the division. But then, at SummerSlam, WWE booked the first official match in this new chapter of Liv vs. Rhea. Unsurprisingly, Dominic Mysterio got involved, causing Liv to retain her championship and officially align himself with Liv Morgan. This feud has been heating up ever since, with Rhea Ripley desperate to get her hands on Liv once more. WWE has kept fans guessing, and even Liv herself seems to be uncertain based on her recent statements. One key moment in this saga occurred at the Bash in Berlin, where Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio teamed up to take on Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley in a mixed tag match. I'd love to hear your comments on that match down below because I thought it was pretty solid. Plus, I appreciated that the babyfaces Liv and Dom got the win. But the big question remains, when will we see Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley square off for the second time? The rematch from SummerSlam, with the Women's World Championship on the line, feels inevitable. Personally, I think WWE should make this a trilogy. A series of 3 matches just feels like the right direction, considering how heated things have gotten. You can stretch these bouts over time, but regardless of where or when these matches happen, this feud is far from over. That brings us to today's video, because Liv Morgan made a very interesting comment recently that I completely disagree with. During a media appearance on The Big Show with Rusick and Rose, Liv discussed her rivalry with Rhea and how she's ready for it to end. Now, keep in mind, WWE hasn't officially announced Liv Morgan vs. Rhea Ripley 2 yet, though it's likely we're going to see that match take place at Bad Blood on October 5th in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's what Liv had to say. I want her to be gone right now. I want Dom and I to go live our best lives without the Terror Twins. I've already beaten Rhea, I have my man, my family, and my title, and I'm kind of done with it at this point. She's talking about starting her brutality tour to get back at me, but hopefully at Bad Blood, I finally put an end to Rhea Ripley. Now, here's where I think Liv is wrong. This match at Bad Blood is not going to be the crowning moment where this feud ends. WWE is going to push for a third match, and here's why. Think about the possibilities. Let's say Liv goes over and retains her championship again. Unless it's inside Hell in a Cell or there's some sort of injury, this feud will continue. 2 outcomes are likely: either Rhea Ripley defeats Liv and wins the Women's Championship, giving Liv a reason for a rematch, or Rhea loses once again due to some controversial finish, giving her a valid reason to demand another shot. So, regardless of what happens at Bad Blood, this rivalry is far from over. You had the controversial finish at SummerSlam, and if something similar happens again, WWE would be smart to milk this feud for all it's worth. I can easily see Rhea taking the title back from Liv, only for Liv to demand her rematch in a high-stakes bout. WWE knows the value of this feud. It's been one of the hottest storylines since SummerSlam, and it's helping to keep WWE relevant and exciting. In fact, I'd argue that the Liv Morgan vs. Rhea Ripley feud is one of the top 3 storylines in all of WWE right now. If I had to rank them, I'd say the Bloodline storyline is still number 1. Then, it's Liv and Rhea, followed by the ongoing CM Punk vs. Drew McIntyre saga. All three of these feuds have been captivating fans, but Liv vs. Rhea stands out because it's built on more than just championship gold, it's personal. As much as Liv might want to wrap things up, there's just too much at stake here for WWE to pull the plug now. The storyline has been too successful, and the fans are too invested. In fact, the only way this feud could end prematurely is if there's some injury or backstage drama that forces WWE to change course. Otherwise, it's likely we're headed toward a big trilogy match, perhaps at WrestleMania 41, with a massive stipulation attached. And here's another important point: just because Bad Blood is coming up doesn't mean WWE has to book this as a Hell in a Cell match. Everyone assumes we'll get Liv vs. Rhea inside the cell, but that's not necessarily true. WWE could just as easily book a Hell in a Cell match for CM Punk vs. Drew McIntyre, a feud that has also been building up for months. In fact, I think Punk and McIntyre deserve the Hell in a Cell spotlight more than Liv and Rhea. They've had their singles match, they've had a brutal strap match, and now it's time for the big blow-off inside the cell. Liv and Rhea can still have their rematch at Bad Blood without it being inside the cell. A regular one-on-one match would still keep the feud going. But Punk vs. McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell? That's the match that would sell tickets. Now, let's talk predictions. If WWE does book Liv Morgan vs. Rhea Ripley 2 for Bad Blood, who do you think is going over? Are you siding with Liv, or do you think Rhea will reclaim her title? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This rivalry has been filled with twists and turns, and both women have proven they can carry a championship feud. But I think Rhea's reign could come sooner rather than later. There's one other comparison I want to make here. If you've been following the Bloodline storyline, you know that WWE can stretch a feud for years if it's compelling enough. Look at Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and the entire Bloodline faction. This storyline has been going on for nearly 4 years, and it shows no signs of slowing down. It's possible Liv and Rhea's feud could last much longer than people expect, especially if the matches continue to deliver. Just because traditional wrestling booking says a feud should only last 3 or 4 months doesn't mean WWE has to follow that rule. Take the 2008 Chris Jericho vs. Shawn Michaels feud as an example. That rivalry lasted for almost a full year and never felt stale. Or think about all the matches between John Cena and Randy Orton or Cena and Batista. WWE knows how to stretch out a great rivalry, and I think they'll do the same with Liv and Rhea. In closing, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more content about Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, or WWE in general, make sure to click the button right here to subscribe and stay updated on all things wrestling. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.